So my question for you guys is, you talked about your favorite scenes. What were the hardest scenes for you guys to do?
Well, one scene for me was I had to arrive. Remember that was that scene where I arrived and I had.
Oh yeah.
We were swapping over. Who was it? We had
Dr. Ivo.
Yeah, we had Dr. Ivo.
Dr. Ivo and who else was there?
Well, basically,
Steve
I was coming off the ship, and we were trying to get hold of the engineer to come back and fix the ship, and I was going to swap over Ivo for the engineer.
Right, with the bomb thing, yeah.
Yeah, and there was, exactly. But when I arrived that scene, I had to be so amped up on the Mirakuru, and it was the first scene of the day, and I got in there, and my energy was just kind of quite low. And I mean, I had to be like, I had to be really buzzing. And so I ran up and down the studio about 50 times and I drank like about 6 cups of coffee so that I could have the Mirakuru feeling. And at first, it didn't hit me, and then suddenly it hit me like a blooming bomb, I was like,
I was wondering what you were doing. You're running up and down the studio.
And sculling cups of coffee. To do the Mirakuru stuff, it was interesting. But it was just because it was the scene required such an energy, and sometimes you'll get, you'll just come out of your normal world, and your engine won't be revving at that level. And in order to be revving at that level, or be like, a steam train only moves at the momentum of the heat of the coal that it's burning. So you've got to get that going as an actor sometimes,
It's really hard, particularly on those long days, like the Friday to Saturday Fraturdays, where you start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you go till 3 o'clock in the morning. And you're often, if your scene is at the very end of the day, you're waiting in your trailer, and then it's waiting, and then you're on. Right? So just to get there is sometimes.
Yeah, or you'll be in the middle of a scene that's very emotional, and they'll cut for lunch. And you were at a certain point where, and you prepared yourself, and you'll know that when you've eaten lunch, and then if you have a little bit of dessert, half an hour later you're like, I want to have a sleep. And you're going to have to pick up from that scene again, and that really does, for people who want to know a little bit about the acting and what some of the things that are recurring all the time, that thing, the lunch break, sometimes really messes with the way you have to connect the scene before and after lunch.
I also think one of the biggest things that everyone that worked on the show had to deal with was how cold it was. So I think it was almost another acting skill you had to learn was to stop shivering when they called action. So you just wait and like action.
Not if you're used to it.
Oh my god, I was crazy. I'm from LA, maybe that's why.
I agree. I think they had to color correct my skin a few times because it was bright red from the cold.
Yeah, but if you were on Spartacus, it was even worse. It was like freezing cold, and you were like, uh-oh. Seriously.
Thank you, guys.